Hello, I'm Dr. Ruth Roberts, your pet's ally. Hey, CrockPetters, I hope that the day is good for you. And up on the roof today, you can see a little bit of the ocean there behind me. But it's warming up here, so it's supposed to be 78 and really, really nice today. So, got tons of questions, which is great. And Hannah has kind of organized these into groups, which helps me out tremendously. So let's see how we go today. So Zoe, we'll start off with your question. Should she add the calcium citrate and total body support supplement into a batch or when it's cooking? And Zoe, the sort of rule of thumb is to use the calcium citrate in with the batch and add the holistic total body support to each meal. And the idea is that if you cook the holistic total body support, you're going to actually destroy most of the vitamins and minerals in there. And as Heather said, not a big deal. If you missed it in one batch, it's okay. You'll catch up, the pets will catch up later. Let's see, rolled oats. So yeah, Susan, I think we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but you can try it and see what happens. So for some dogs, it's a problem. For other pups, not a problem. So try it and see. Again, if you're going to test a food, if you're not sure if your pet is sensitive to it, it is definitely best to go with a small amount. So for little Abner-sized dogs, you would want to use literally like a half a teaspoon per meal. For larger dogs, maybe a tablespoon. And do that for 3 meals and then wait for 72 hours because it can take up to that long for things to show up. So Catherine's asking about kind of what the standard for supplements is, and she's using the holistic total body support, the omega-3 oil, and probiotics, and those are kind of the 3 standard ones, Catherine. If your pet's experiencing any type of inflammatory condition like joint disease, skin issues, things of that nature, then that's when you would want to use turmeric and curcumin supplement to help reduce inflammation. So, and then you also could sort of treat it like we treat milk thistle and sort of do a cleanup once a month, if you will. So, with milk thistle, what I used to tell clients in South Carolina, because they were all using heartworm prevention for the most part, is to give it once a month, about 24 hours after they've given heartworm prevention. Same concept for the turmeric and curcumin. You can kind of just throw that in for about a week out of each month at the standard dose and just kind of clear things out. There are others that will say to use it all the time, but unless your pet really has something going on, I would just use it kind of every now and again to clean things out, if you will. Let's see. And Jamie and iPets Ally, we're going to talk a little bit about a different approach to anti-cancer diet. So I think that, Erin, you grabbed those out so you could remember what the list is, and we'll be updating some of the downloads that are available in the course and one last update of the book so that the links all actually work so you're sent to the right spots. Let's see, and Susan is asking about omega-3 fatty acids. And so, Susan, I'm so sorry that you had to find out the hard way of running out. So if he is sensitive to anchovy and sardine, that's kind of my go-to because it's more sustainable. You could try salmon oil, and as Penny notes below, an omega-3 fatty acid made from calamari is a great option. Standard Process has a really good one as well. I try not to use krill oil because of the sustainability issues. So it does come highly recommended. You're supposed to be able to use less of it. But when krill oil became a thing over a decade ago, the biomass of krill, which is the very bottom of the food chain, and frankly what feeds the whales, it decreased by 30%. And so we're starting to have issues with global warming and things of that nature where the biomass of krill is decreasing even further. And the thing that is so alarming about that to me is that that is the very bottom of the food chain, and if that gets broken, we are all in deep trouble. So calamari is definitely a better option, and then salmon oil is another option for you as well. And so grain keto question. So again, kind of, Jamie, what we're going to talk about is what I talked about in the last iPets Ally Ultimate, and that is a low methionine diet, which means you'll be using more plant-based foods. So yeah, millet you can usually find online. Oats, groats, barley is a low, mas or menos low glycemic index. You know, so this is where you got to choose. If it's a bear and you're having to add more and more fat, and you're kind of getting up into that range where you're concerned about pancreatitis, then this may be a better approach. And really, any grain, whether they're high glycemic, low glycemic, they're going to kick him out of ketosis. And let's see. And Deborah, good to see you. She's asking what the dosage for milk thistle is. So again, if you go over, well, actually that's in the iPets Ally courses, the dosing. But for roughly 50-pound dogs, I would use, generally the capsules are about 175 milligrams a piece. And so for larger dogs, I'd use 175 milligrams twice daily. For smaller dogs, probably a half a capsule once a day. And we use the Jarrow milk thistle all the time because it's a high quality product. Jamie's asking about mixing batches, and hey, you know, if you've got, every once in a while we just have a must-go batch, which means that everything in the refrigerator must go. So, you know, ideally you keep rotating for the most part, but if you got just enough to make, you know, doubles of each, go ahead and throw them together once, and all good. But again, you know, as a sort of a rule of thumb, ideal to continue to separate the proteins. And Lolly, let's see, this was a really entertaining, you're welcome, Deborah. This is a really entertaining thread, but we forget that Airedales are war dogs. That's what they were bred to do. And they just keep going. They just keep going regardless. And this is, you know, they are very, very tenacious dogs for sure, and for that reason a lot of people don't get them. Jamie's asking about an additional sort of protein supplement, and I agree. I would go with more of a collagen versus a whey protein. And really, if you're part of what you're concerned about is if you're just looking to keep muscle on, you know, type 1, type 3 collagen is perfect. If you're concerned about joints, I would go with type 1, 2, and 3 collagen. There's a great product that Dr. Axe makes that we used to have on the website, and in fact you can get access to it in full scripts. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, just ask Hannah, email Hannah, and she'll get you that information. But essentially you'd be able to order professional quality supplements at about 5% off the retail price. And if you're not seeing him look super thin, then I think what's happening is he's just gotten to that lean phase. And if you can keep him at this point, then that's great. But yeah, definitely go with collagen. And again, if you add carbs in, you will knock him out of ketosis. The other option would be to do a week on ketosis and a week off of ketosis. And that seems to have essentially the same effect for long-term use, although I'm not sure that's going to work in cancer. The idea of using a ketotic diet in cancer is to imitate a fasting/starving state. And so when we do that, then the body shifts the reserves to the normal tissues, and also the big thing is that cancer cells do not utilize ketone bodies as a fuel source very well. They really, really, really want sugar, basically. And Raven's asking, do you have to cook in a crock pot? And I think, so if we're going to be really strict about everything, low and slow, as Anne Noel mentions, is really important. But it may be that cooking it a little less is better. So if this works on the stovetop, then do it, Raven, because frankly, that's often what we do. And because we travel so much, there's only so much we can lug around with us. So the vast majority of the time we go in, we use a stove, a big stock pot on the stove, or some sort of a roaster pan in the oven. And it does cook a lot. It doesn't cook through as much as it seems to in the crock pot. So part of it is to use, what makes it easy for you and what makes your pup happy. So the idea of cooking slow is that it helps to retain the nutrients, but more than that, in Chinese medicine, it helps to not add heat. So you can use the oven, you can use the stock pot, whatever works the best for you. So I hope that's helpful. And Deb, I am so sorry to hear about Gabby. That's tough. But I know that you guys have you have a long history with Spinonis, and these guys are just marvelous dogs. So you've got ArthroSoothe, Symbiotic, and Holistic Total Body Support. And yes, I would give all of those to your 21-month-old. But with the ArthroSoothe, with the Symbiotic, you're going to give that daily for 2 weeks to load if you haven't, and then once a week. Holistic Total Body Support you'll use kind of at the label dose. And then ArthroSoothe, what I would do is use a half dose. And because the idea is that this puppy is growing rapidly, he's crazy, or she is crazy, I'm not sure which. Oh, it is him. And that's a great way to help protect those joints and to provide them the nutrients they need to grow. So turmeric, again, because this is a healthy young dog, you might use it 1 week out of the month to help kind of keep the inflammation down. So again, so sorry to hear about Gabby. She's a tough lady, and you guys went through a lot. So I think that's what I've got here. Let me switch back and make sure I got everything out of the document that Hannah sent me over. Let's see, there's Raven's, there's Jamie's, there's Susan's, Zoe's. Lolly was asking about the analysis of the CrockPet Diet. That should be in the members area, and I think also attached as a file to the group. So let's see. Media files. So let me switch back camera for a minute here. So if you go over in the group, so here we are in the CrockPet group, and click on Files. Yeah, here they are. Here's the NRC recommendations for dogs and cats. The some tables that a couple of different folks made, and then here's the nutritional analysis of the CrockPet Diet. So all of that stuff is in there for you, so you can, there we go, so you can use it at your will. Again, the NRC always uses 1,000 calories, as we for some reason in veterinary medicine, we base nutrients on the food, not on the pet, which is, I don't get it easy either, but honestly, part of what it is that smaller breed dogs have a much higher metabolism than larger breed dogs, and so the nutrient requirements is based on how many calories that pet receives. So cool, Jamie, good deal, and we'll talk some more about your other questions too. Let's see here. Let me make sure I haven't missed anything else. Janice is asking about Tylenol powder being used to alleviate eye and mouth staining, and I think probably what you mean is Tylosin powder. Tylosin is an antibiotic that's used for chronic gut disease as well as for chickens primarily. And so, Janice, what I think is this is an exceptionally bad idea, it's similar to, there used to be a product called Angel Eyes that essentially was just tetracycline, which is also an antibiotic that was used to alleviate eye and mouth staining. And so what you're doing when you give those is you're just wiping out the entire gut microbiota. So this is a bad idea. So I think what you need to do is to look at eye and mouth staining as something being wrong in the gut. Now, I will tell you that small breed dogs have an issue with this, and it does get worse when things are out of balance in the gut. So that's where I would work, is to actually fix the gut first. And I think ultimately you have to decide, let me see if Hayo will help demonstrate this. Hayo, come here. Hayo. Come here. You have to decide how much is okay, because some of this, so if we look at Hayo, she has some tear staining. Oh, she's so pretty. And much less mouth staining than she used to. When my mom first adopted her, anyway, with CrockPet Diet, this has gotten much better, and with Phytospore, it's gotten substantially better too. So remember, tears and saliva have a breakdown product of hemoglobin, and that's what creates the red color. So if we improve the gut, then we're improving the body's ability to get rid of waste products. So go for it. I would work on the gut first instead of just wiping out the entire microbiota. And then also, sometimes this can be related to allergies, and so this is where using quercetin on a small daily dose can be very helpful too. So I hope that is helpful, Janice. And then Debbie is asking about Arthro-Ease, and I still like Arthro-Ease tremendously. Where Arthropause is superior is that it includes several other items like type 2 collagen that are not in Arthro-Ease. And the other upside is that if your pet is sensitive to chicken, this is where it really shines, because it's made more from a shellfish base rather than chicken. So I hope that helps. It depends, for Mona, she did much better on Arthropause. And by the way, this is simply a private labeled bottle of ArthroSoothe, which is a human product. So Mary Jo and I take this. But for Hayo and Pepe, they're doing really great on Arthro-Ease still. So, we'll see kind of how it goes, but this is an option. So we've got a couple of different things for you guys to access now. So I've been able to set up an online pharmacy with Covitris, and so there's several things we can get that you can order through there that we can approve. Largely it's some of the supplements by VetriScience, things like that. So I don't think Arthro-Ease is available there. That you can get from Amazon. And let me see if I can drop this in. But I think it's still a great product. But where I was going with all of that is, for many of you, if you're dealing with a pet that has significant health issues, and you are trying to do palliative care at home, essentially, sometimes veterinarians are not very willing to help you do that, which anyway, doesn't matter. So what we've done is we're using this Covitris store for supplying things like fluids for pets that have severe kidney disease and the veterinarian is unwilling to use or to write a prescription for Savelamar for lowering the phosphorus, things of this nature. this is what we can help you with. So we'll be setting up access to that again in the members area, and also, as I mentioned earlier, access to full script. And so now we've set it up so that the entire catalog is open, so that if there's something you want to try that I don't specifically recommend, you can. So that's what I have for you today. I hope that all is well. We've got Dog Care on Air coming up on the 6th and 7th of March, so watch your emails for that. This is a great departure from the model of paying to have access to, or you get it free for a certain period of time. These guys are great. It's just free, period. It's on their Facebook page, so you can go there and download it whenever you'd like. So there's 2 days worth of speakers. Some topics are conventional, some topics are more alternative. I'm going to do the discussion about IBS or SIBO there. And that's what I have for you. So go check that out. Check your email for more information about that, and then we'll be posting that in the group as well. But that'll be a lot of fun. And that's what I got. So have a marvelous week. And until next week, remember, your pet's best health starts in the bowl. Thanks.